Welcome. Let me fix this audio to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Sorry for being late. Busy day, busy week, 15 games. Everybody's playing tonight. I'm literally rolling up my sleeves right now so we can get into business here. We're going to go for as long as we need to. We'll start with some early stuff so we can make sure that we get everything done before those games start at 7 p.m. Eastern time sharp, and then we'll get into some more stuff for the later games as well. Bring your bets, jump in the comments. Let's get after it. I saw some of y'all in here already, so we are going to get into it. Let me get this bottom line scrolling so that I can show you guys the bets that we make on the show. Got the leans ready to go. Going to share my screen. Got a couple of looks that I want to give everybody. As people jump in, let me start putting stuff up on the up next tab as well, and we'll get it going, bro. 15 games, like kid in a candy store for sure. What's up, Andrew? Good to see you, man. Happy Monday, Malcolm. Let's get it. Already got TC Reptiles in here. Got Toothpick Wilson, Lillard double. All right, we'll take a look at that against the Cavs. Klay baby, Claytheism. We'll talk about him and D Mitch. All right, let me start putting stuff in here because I'm gonna forget. I got D Mitch points, Klay Thompson points. Both those games start pretty early, so let me get those in here in the up next. Keep bringing those bets for me. I promise I'm not going to spend more time than is necessary on things, so don't worry about that. We got Donnie, Mitch, points. Let me keep going. I saw a bunch of other stuff I do want to look at as well in the comments. T Reptiles coming with the heat. We got Trey 30+, Schroeder assists. Let's put that in there. Trey points, Schroeder assists. Trey's going up against those Celtics, right? So that's going to be a tough one. Koulibaly you like for 14 points. Let's look at Koulibaly. Without Kuz in, that is definitely a look, or at least something that needs to be considered. Let's see if we got any others. We got Kyrie, and then RJ Barrett and Bobby P. Is Giannis out? We need to know. Giannis is probably going to play still, I think. So we'll see. But let's put Bobby. Well, I'm going to wait on the news before I put Bobby P in there. Let's look at Rozier. I like that look for sure. Rozier was one I strongly considered. I'm going to talk about another Heat player as well. Let me get Scary Terry in here for the points. He is at about 15.5 still, I believe. And Jaime Jaquez is ruled out of that game. So we got to keep that into consideration. I think the guy that benefits the most from Jaime Jaquez being out is a man I'm fondly calling Jovi, Nikola Jovic. If I call him Jovi, nobody can mishear what I'm saying and think I'm saying Nikola Jokic. I'm saying Jovic. All right, so I got Rozier in here. Let me get a couple more. I know we got Kat and Kyrie, C-Clip, Russ, and then Giannis is ruled out. All right, thank you. Look at that. People helping people. Appreciate y'all. So then we will look at Bobby P. There had to be a reason we were bringing it. Bobby P, and then one more that I just saw, and I'm going to get into it. I got Rozier in there, and I got, hell yeah, good to have you, Azania. Jared Jack rebounds. You got to mean Jared Jackson. I thought we were talking about Jared Jack, the former Georgia Tech stud who played on like the Warriors, the Nets. Jared Jack was everywhere, but you're talking about Jaren Jackson, I believe, right? Yeah. We're going to pretend you're talking about Jaren Jackson. We'll talk about Triple J as well. All right, cool. I got a lot on here. So let me get a look at some stuff. I still got people trickling in, so I want to give you at least a couple looks that I'm going to put on the bottom line as well as I get that scrolling. Let me actually add a couple of those as well right now. I love Brunson under assists. If you can still get it at 7.5, that is a beautiful bet. I still like, like I said, I like Jovic. If you can get him at 7.5 points, I think he's at 8.5. 7.5 was a steal. But I'm at least putting what I had down so that you know what I've already got on my card right now. A couple others that I already put in that I'll show you. I like Jay Poole under 29.5 points and assists as well for Jordan Poole. I don't care about revenge narrative for Poole. I don't care about that at all. That was done last year. I mean, maybe you could say this year he's going to have a bigger role and he's going to bring it more. I don't really care. I'm not buying into that as much as I am how good this Warriors team is on defense. Second best D rating in the league right now, and they are a menace on the perimeter. So no perimeter points for you, Jordan Poole. And then if you do come into the lane, they're the number one defense inside 5 feet, by the way. Let me start sharing my screen and show you what I'm talking about, and we'll get right into it. All the tools that I'm using are going to be available in the link of the the description of the video. There's no link to the description. You get what I'm saying? In the description of the video, you can check out everything that you would need for all the tools that I'm using. I'm going to be using some Props Madness, some Outlier.bet, and the like. So let's jump into it. Let me make sure my screen is all good to go here. And I'm going to start showing you a couple of things. What's up, Diego? See you in there too. Good to have you, bro. Let me bring this up. Let me change this to my player prop biddy and get it popping. All right. Damn, this is not what I want. Stand by. It's always something. All right, there we go. Here we go. All right, y'all don't need to see all that. All right, cool. So where are we starting? We're starting with Klay points. Make sure you check out the bottom line. Like I said, that's got what it is. Bilal, you did accidentally. I mean, you can reverse it if you bet the other side if you want, but keep that in mind. Let's see. Let me kick it off with Klay points. And in fact, that's what I said I was going to do. I was going to go a little bit more in order, so we make sure we get to stuff. Let me move Klay to the back of the line. Apologies. Now I'm going to renege on that and just go ahead and look at Klay, because we're already here and I've done this much work to talk about it and waste all this time. I just haven't looked as closely at this game, so that's partly why I wanted to bring it. But with Klay, we got to look at how teams do against the spot up. He's going to be shooting from the spot up. Where are you at, Klay? Why won't you show me this year's? We don't have this year's shot chart or play type analysis for him. Let's see with Kyrie. All right, so Kyrie is a little bit in the spot up. 14th, though, against the spot up for this Pacers D. We know they're not going to be as good against the ball handler on the pick and roll. So Klay is not necessarily a look against a team like the Pacers, who don't sag off their guys on the wing. You can see that they give up a lot of points to the pick and roll ball handler. They don't give up a lot of assists to the pick and roll ball handler and the guy up top. So you can see, I'll just go to a simple one real quick, NBA Fantasy Pros. And this is FanDuel Fantasy Pros. You can just get a look at the position by position, how they do against certain positions. So let me just start that. We also are going to use Courtside Pal. So just keep that in mind. That is a little bit better, more accurate than even the positions. But let's just start with this. So points for the point guard against Indy. They give up the fifth most. The assists against Indy, they give up the third fewest. So this is the Indiana defense under Rick Carlisle. You always got to remember this about the Pacers. They're going to guard the point guard very strong. Like, they're going to pressure him, that they're not going to double him. They're going to not double off of their, leave their shooters. So you're not going to get spot up stuff. If we look at shooting guards versus this team, you can see points versus Indy is much worse, right? So still bottom 10, they're top 10, 11 in terms of limiting points to the shooting guard, because those wing players are not going to be left open. So I'm off the Klay stuff. I can already tell you that against this team, this is not the matchup for him. His points are really low for a reason. This is Kyrie, excuse me. Let me get to Klay, 14.5. His points are really low for a reason. He has had 3 bad games in a row, and you might be wanting to take him on but the other teams he's done poorly against, these 3 teams are the exact same as the Pacers defense, is what I'm talking about here. You allow a little bit more to the pick and roll ball handler. The Rockets are the same way. That's why I love Brunson. Show you that real quick. I love Brunson because the Rockets are the same in the sense as the Pacers, in the sense that they don't allow points to the spot up, but they do allow it to the pick and roll ball handler a little bit. They're still 13th, but to the point guard itself, they give up the 6th most, something like that, to point guards. Just pulling this up for Houston. So 7th, 8th most points to the point guard. So it's the same concept here for Klay and the and the Mavs, is that I'm not as ready to take an assist prop for Luka. I'd prefer the under, if anything, if it's high enough. And then I like the under on any got a shooter points. Anybody who's playing off of Luka. Klay Thompson is very, very reliant on Luka getting him dimes. And if Luka's not able to do that because no one's doubling off, so Luka's assists are all the way down at 7.5. Right now, they are juiced to the over, so they think he's going to get 8. But Luka is a dude that's had 9.5 assist lines for a lot of games, right? So you can see that's a reason why I'm off the Klay points look there. I'll go ahead and update that. There's no way that I would be adding that to the card in this particular matchup. All right, let's look at Donnie Mitchell, and I don't really like that game because it has blowout potential right now. I am so low on the Bucks, and if you think that the Bucks are a team that to be messed with this year, I just think it's wrong. So if we look at that game, I know I'm not going to have quite as much now that we have Giannis officially ruled out. I think obviously you always want to look at the others now. I mean, Dame at 28.5 against this defense, he just went for 41. Granted, he was so hot in the first quarter, 10 for 15 from 3. Do you really want to bank on that for Dame? What's his threes at 4.5? 3.5, minus 130 though. So they expect him to hit 4 in this game. If he hits 4, let's look at it this way. If he hits 4 threes, does he get his points? Let's go to points. And what I'm going to filter here is advanced filters. I want to know what happens to his points when he hits threes. So when Dame hits 4 threes exactly, how many points does he usually get? He's at a 53% hit rate. He does average 30 a game if he hits 4. The likelihood of him hitting 4 seems to be pretty high. This Cavs defense is still very good. Let's see what it is above the break. Still 9th best above the break. So I'm not ready to just, because Dame went off for 10 for 15 from 3, hit a bunch of difficult shots, I'm not necessarily ready to just go to Dame and be like, yeah, let me get those points. I know I'm supposed to be looking at Mitchell. I actually just remembered that, and I'm going to right now. But I did want to say, because Dame's on the card as well, that like I don't love it. I mean, the 30 plus makes sense. Like I said, averaging 30, but you can see here, even at the 28.5, basically a 50% hit rate. That's still not something that I love to see. For him to hit 5 threes, obviously that would increase it a ton. But what happens when he hits 3 threes exactly? How many points does he get? Right? Boom. So like, I'm not saying he can't hit more than 3 threes. The books think he's going to. But if he hits 3 threes, and this is at 3.5 for a reason, he's not nearly as likely to get 29 points. He averages 22. He went under this number in 13 of 14. There has to be something in the way of we need to stop Dame, has to be a priority for them. Cleveland on the season is giving up, they're middle of the pack, giving up threes to the point guard. So I'm off Dame, though. There's not going to be any Dame bets here. Looking at Donnie Mitchell, though, which is what I was supposed to be doing from the jump, he is the type of scorer to go off against the Bucks. Look at this defensive shot chart for Milwaukee. That is so bad. It's just so pitiful. You can score wherever you want. The only thing they do well is Brook Lopez can still block shots around the rim because he's big as hell and he's really good at it. And he has been for 29 years, or however long he's been in the league. So they're 9th best, limiting stuff right inside the paint, but not inside the extended paint, not on the 3-point line. You give it up everywhere. Obviously, Donnie's taking all his shots from out there. So we look at this, 36% of them are here, and then 22% are off of him driving, whether he pulls up off this, pulls up the floater, or he gets all the way to the rim. Those are Donnie's shots, down the middle and above the break threes for sure. So I get it. I don't know how many of his points did he have. Let's see real quick. I mean, he took 25 shots. How many of his points is he scoring near the basket? I mean, 22% of his shots are coming from right inside the paint and off of pick and roll ball handler. Yeah, so they're bad against this defense. I get it. I think the blowout is the thing that you're worried about here. I know they only won by 1 with Giannis in there. I mean, how much do you think Giannis matters to this team? It's a lot for sure. Let's look at that real quick and I'll move on, which is Bucks with and without Giannis last season. Without him, 9 games, 113 points per game, all the rebounds down, assists down, steals go up, good for them. Blocks go down, field goals made goes down, everything goes down, right? They average, the 113 without him. So this is terrifying against a Cavs defense that's still 4th in the league and should still have its way. You can focus way more on Dame now as well. I will look at it this way too, though. Let's see. Let's do Dame Lillard with and without Giannis last season. It's probably, did he not play without Giannis? Dame, that's how you spell Giannis. Damian Lillard with and without Giannis last season. You know who Giannis is. You really going to make me spell Antetokounmpo? Antetokounmpo. I'm pretty sure I spelled that right, y'all. You should be subscribed to the page with that alone. I just spelled Antetokounmpo correctly. 29 points. I get it. So he's at 30 points a game. His shots go up by about 2. He gets the free throw line a bunch more. Been a free throw merchant this year. So it makes sense, but still 30 points a game without Giannis. It's not worth it for Dame. For Donnie Mitchell, I just hate this 27 points. I think the blowout's coming. They are not good without Giannis, and I don't think they're going to be good even when Giannis comes back. So I can tell you right now, I'm not going to spend too much time on Donnie to try to find an edge on 27 points. It's not going to be there for me. Trey, I was considering some unders, but let's look at the points for him before I look at the assists, which I'd love to go under as well. Because you can see just starting with this, for the Celtics against point guards, they do be giving up points. Both teams do, by the way. The Hawks suck. But the Celtics, too, for a great defensive team, they give up like the 6th most points to point guards, but they don't allow assists. Another defense that really doesn't, it can just switch everything. So it doesn't have to double the ball carrier, the ball handler. So with that in mind, you do think points for Trey are a bit better. He had one good game against them last year. Let's get to the Hawks game real quick. Trey Hawks 23-24 head-to-head. So one game, played 37 minutes, 33 points, took 27 shots. He was missing Jalen Johnson that game. That is not nothing. That dude takes a lot of shots as well. And then this one, he was missing DeJounte, which I guess the equivalent of that this year would be Dyson Daniels, or even really Jalen Johnson as his number 2. And they were missing Clint. Didn't work out as well in that game. 8 for 25, but he's taking a ton of shots. So I'm not going to be in the business of fading Trey necessarily. Let's look at a few more games for him. Let's look at Trey Young versus Celtics last. Let's do 6 games. That'll be all last season and a couple from the season before. So last season, we know the 23rd. So then 30, 38, 35, 32. Yep. And all the way back to 21. But even in these games right here, going well over, taking 27 shots per game against this team in his last 6. Let's do last 5 though, because last 5 is a lot better. 2021, he missed a couple games in between there. So I don't want to go all the way back to 21, but I can go back to April of 2 seasons ago and still go like, yeah, I mean, there probably weren't as many players playing this game. Oh, this is the playoffs. My bad. That's what this is. So this is 40 minutes and in the playoffs. Let's do last 5 regular season games for Trey versus this squad. And pull up 29 points, 9 dimes. So I think the assists are still at 3.5 for him. That's where I prefer an under if we're doing it. It's minus 128 now. And there's no 11.5s left. I think this was 11.5 this morning. So this is getting bet down a ton. You can see the 10 here on 15 potentials, 16 potentials. Celtics don't even give the assists opportunity up, to be honest. So the PA for him is not a bad look. 37.5. What's he averaging this season? Averaging 38.7. Yeah, I would just be leaning on the under for the assists. If you want to take Trey for 30 points at the juice, could be worth it. Let me pull up outlier.bet. This is one of the best ones here for being able to see all the season averages. Plus, the reason I'm going to it now is it's going to give me alt lines that I can just see right on here, which is super dope. So the alt line numbers and odds, as soon as this bitch loads, Trey going to his 30-point look, because that was the request specifically, was the 30-point look, which he's done this season a couple of times. Let's see, 30. Let's get to over 29.5. So it looks like plus 140. I don't love that number, I'll be honest with you. This season, he's gone over 3 of 7, plus 140 to get some. It's just not necessarily a look. If we look at the last 5 regular season games for Trey against this team, he's gotten there in 3 of 5. But once again, plus 140 just ain't worth it. I could show you that on the little baby model, but I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be worth it at that number. So always know the number, not going to be looking at that, not going to be taking Trey on that one, to be honest. Yeah, that's fine. I feel you on this one too. We got Azani chiming in saying he took the Trey over, ladder to 30. I personally, if I was going to take this bet, I would just be hitting the 30 plus for the plus 145, plus 140, and moving on with it. But you know, that's just me. I can see the Trey thing. I just don't want to have to take someone and get 30 points, even if it is Trey against the Celtics. I don't like that. So let me look at Schroeder next, and I'm going to jump back in the comments for a minute so I can see what else we got. But just a reminder that if you do want to look at something, jump in there. Yeah, we're going to look at that right now. We got the same request from Ramon, so we'll take a look at it. Same with Ja without. Oh, yeah, Bane's out as well. Both good looks there for sure. Let's see here. What to do? Good question. Let me get into this in a minute. I'll actually just keep adding a couple of things, but I'm going to add a couple that I just saw, and then I will get back to you on that because that's a great question. We'll go back to Luka. I think Luka assist was the specific look. And then there's one more I just saw that I wanted to put in here. We got CP over on points. That was just added at the bottom there. Let's do CP 3 points. Yeah, he's been scoring hella. I don't know if they're just leaving him open. We can take a look at it. But the question I wanted to answer too was this question, which is, so what tool do you use when a player is ruled out to explore how this will impact which players the most? There's always going to be a bit of research needed on literally just Googling, like, what the coach is talking about. If the coach has mentioned when this dude is out, we want this guy in. You can do your own research to go, who is the player? Who is one that was just out? If Giannis is out, who's the player that benefits the most from Giannis. There's a couple of things here. One is if you just use StatMuse, it's going to be super helpful. It's not going to give you all the context you need, but this is where I would start. So if I'm looking for Bobby Portis stuff, and this is just going to take a bit of guess and check. So if I'm like, what's Dame? All right, I want to know what Dame does. Dame goes up, blah, 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 right? I already know that because we looked at it a minute ago. So I would just go Dame Lillard with and without Giannis, and they know who Giannis is. So they didn't a minute ago. But this is this is for his whole career. So I would have to add this season, right? Whatever. All right. But then I would just keep going through it. Dame Lillard. Then I would go to Bobby Portis. I just want to know what all these guys do. So I'm like, all right, Bobby Portis, blah, blah. So this is just to start to get a feel for it. Bobby Portis with and without Giannis. I got to do last season. My bad. Last season. So with and without Giannis last season, this helps a lot. Dude goes up by 8 points per game. This does not seem like it's a fluke. This isn't the end-all be-all because there's other things that could affect this. Was Chris Middleton playing? Was Dame Lillard playing? Was Brook Lopez playing? All these guys, if they're not in, that's going to be a different situation than this game where all those guys are in except for Chris Middleton, right? But I can't really do Bobby Portis with and without Giannis and Chris Middleton. It doesn't work on StatMuse. So then I can use any of these right here. Outlier.bet is great for it. There's a link in the description of the video that gets you 7 free days on outlier.bet if you want to check that out. But this is as simple as going to this little filters tab right here and going, okay, now I can do games with player, games without player. So if I want to know what Trey's stuff is without Bogey, I can do that. But now I can also add and DeAndre Hunter, right? So he's going to be without both those guys in this game. What does he do? This year, he's basically played all his games without those guys. Last year, now I can click 2023. He didn't play any games without those guys. So none of that's going to help me. But any of these tools like this one, even Props Madness, you can do with and without player, right? So if I want to know without DeAndre Hunter, what does Trey do this year? Or I can go back to last year, right? All this stuff. So there's always going to be really easy tools for with and without players stuff on all these betting sites that help you with your research. Let's look at Dennis Schroeder. Let me add Jake LaRavia. Constantine wants to talk about that. And we'll look at some Memphis stuff. I'll put him next to Triple J. Let's put up LaRavia here. All right. Save that and keep it moving. Let's look at Dennis Schroeder against the Grizz. So, yeah, we'll put all this stuff in one look right now for this game right here. So these teams already played, right? And I believe the Nets won that game by 13 points at Memphis. I think we were all a little bit shocked on that. Who was missing in that game? Probably Triple J was missing in that one. Let's look at Ja head-to-head. I can see all the players that are missing. I love this part about Props Madness. You can just see all the players that are missing when you hover over one of the recent games. So he wasn't missing anybody. They really weren't missing anybody. I think they might have been on a back-to-back, but big-time revenge spot here for them. So starting with Schroeder assists, I do like Schroeder assists this season. I also don't mind the fact that he's gone under. Now, 7.5 is getting high. This was at 6.5 for a while in these games right here. This is another quick tool that I'll show everybody for those of you that don't know. Link to this is also in the description of the video. This is on Betting Pros, and this is to see past lines, which is helpful because I want to know for Schroeder, for instance, if he's at 7.5 now, I know it was 6.5. So when did it go up? Why is it going up? I'm going to go to Schroeder real quick, and now I can just scroll down and see not only the recent game logs, but it gives me the numbers, the lines that he had in those games. So player game log here, the prop line that closed for his assists. Let me actually go up to assists, excuse me. So I have to change this to Schroeder assist right here. 7.5. And look at this number. So it was at, it's just steadily rising, which I don't love when I see this thing steadily rising. If he's at this season, what's he averaging? 7.4 assists. So at 6.5, 5.5, this is a great number. You've got some cushion here for him to get the 6 or 7 assists that he needs. A little bit, but not much. But once you get to 7.5, that's what he's averaging. You don't have any cushion here. So now I need a really big edge somewhere else. I need the Grizzlies to allow the most assists per game to point guards. I need something about the matchup to tell me that Schroeder's worth it at 7.5. And there's not much that's going to tell me that when it's minus 120, minus 140, whatever, right? But let's do it. Let's see, for instance, just simple starting point guards on Fantasy Pros, looking at assists and looking at how the Memphis Grizz do against point guard assists. They appear to limit them. Where are you at, Memphis? They're middle of the pack. They're dead center. So 8.5 assists a game that they're giving up to the point guard. Dennis Schroeder is very much the point guard of this team. That is not much of an edge because that includes backup point guards, right? So this is not just him. And they might even include Cam Thomas in this if some people consider him a point guard, which some sites might, right? So that data is at 8.5 is like, that's not really helping me with Schroeder to go over on this one, even though a lot of people are liking it at 7.5 because it's been getting bet up. And you can see the over is juiced down. But for that number, I'm not really liking that the assist at 7.5. That's a stay away from me on Dennis Schroeder. Let me keep it moving, though. So we got Bilal Coulibaly. I'm going to try to run for an hour. I want to go as long as I can, but got other stuff to do, including getting bets into the VIP Discord. All right, no doubt, David. Glad to help, man. How about Ben Simmons, though? Yeah, we're already on this game. I'm supposed to be looking at Triple J and Ben Simmons. Was Claxton ruled out? Somebody let me know that because that just popped up for us. Got Bobby P that we got to look at in a minute. Triple J I'm putting next to. I just went totally out of order. Whatever. Let's put them up here. Laravia and Triple J we still got to look at because we're in the same game. All right. And then we'll get into Coulibaly and Rozier. And Coulibaly was a look for the points, and I like Rozier. I've got some stuff for him for sure. All right. TG came in with Grady Dick. Oh, bro. You know you're going to derail the show now because I'm just going to be a fucking 2-year-old about it. But, we got to look at Dick, so we got to look at Dick. All right, let's see for Triple J and Laravia while we're in this game. And if someone can confirm if Claxton was ruled out, that would be dope for sure. Cool. All right, keep it moving. The Triple J look here. So points at 19.5, boards 5.5, dimes 1.5. Doesn't do that much with Ja, right? He's much more of a facilitator when Ja's out, and then his assists are a good look. I hope y'all keep notes like that, right? Like when Ja out, Jaren Jackson assists, good. Just simple shit like that. So have a starting point for where to look when Ja is out or when this dude is out or whatever. That's the best way to bet in the NBA is when this dude is out, what happens? We might find some value. But you don't find value on Ja, 22.5 points. He's averaging 20 on the season. He's being capped at about 31 minutes. He's only played 30 minutes or more once in this last game versus the 76ers. They won by 17. He might have actually been playing more if there wasn't such a blowout. So to be fair, he might be ready to get this his minutes back up, but I don't have anything telling me that. So I don't know for sure with Ja on that, but my bad. I'm supposed to be looking at Triple J. So for the points for Triple J against this squad, I mean, is Claxton out? Anybody let me know yet? Somebody let me know if you see that. Let's go to the Twitter machine real quick and see if there was at least a notey or something that came through about anybody. Nope, still nothing. We got LeVert out, Dean Wade out. Oh, Curry starting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Curry starting. That's interesting as fuck. We'll take a look at that. Nothing yet on Nick Claxton's status. He's still questionable, I guess, but let's just see if RotoWire has an update on him real quick. Claxton's important. I mean, we're talking about Jaren Jackson Jr. right now. I can't really look at that without knowing what's happening to Claxton. He's too important to their defense down low. And we'll see him shooting some threes. He's still Noah Clowney. They got him as a game time decision. Simmons is out. And it doesn't look like Claxton is even questionable anymore. It looks like he's good to go. They have him at 24 minutes, and they got Noah Clowney in there, he's a game time decision, but that is not. And yeah, obviously Darren Sharp. So yeah, they're not going to have much in the way of help down low. Where's Jaren Jackson scoring his points from? Let's take a look at that real quick and see how this Nets team might be better than we think. I don't know. They might be full of it right now, but they're good. They've been playing well. Let me say that. Okay, so if he is posting up, he should be getting a good amount of points off that. Although Claxton should be getting more minutes to help them not be the worst team in the league versus the post up. Can y'all see this? I want to make sure. Let me take down the banner real quick so you can see what I'm looking at. So 29th giving up free throws. He scores off transition, spot up, free throws, post up. This is a good look against a team that gives up a lot of what he wants to do. He shoots mostly inside the paint or from above the break. And they're pretty good above the break, but they're not good down low. So you got to kind of decide if you think Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be playing a little bit lower. I would need to watch some tape on this. We can look at his shot chart, though, a little bit more specifically. I want to do that real quick. If I go to NBA.com, I'm just going to go to the game. There's a million ways I could do this. I'm probably taking a long route to get there, but let's see. Let's go to this game. So I can just click on Triple J and look at his specific shot chart on the season. This was not the fastest way to do this, but whatever. I'm going to this game so I can click on Triple J, going in the box score. Triple J. I want to see where he's if he's going down low and he actually is scoring a decent amount. Oh no, I need to be on stats. All right. Can I not see this down low? Oh, I got to click on 24, 25. God, this makes me. All right. I'm not doing this anymore. But can I tracking? All right. Let me be smarter about this. Let's go. We know where he's shooting from. I should be able to see his shot chart right there more specifically. But it looks like 76% of his shots are coming from down low. Let's say that. So that's a good look. I do see the Triple J look here. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. He did just have 30 against them, which is at least in part why you guys are asking me, I imagine. But 28 minutes, 30 points because he shot 83% from the field. Not something I want to bank on happening again. He did get 30. 19.5 is probably beatable in this number. Like he's gone under against teams with decent size down low. Not really the Bulls. The Bucks, yes, but then he's gone over against two teams that don't really have much rim protection. And Nick Class will be in there a bit more. Triple J, I'm putting in on the bottom line as a lean. I get the look there, and his matchup is pretty good. 20 points isn't too much. Neither of these teams playing very fast, though. Playing pretty slowly. I don't know that there's going to be that many points in this game. LaRavia coming in. Does he have props up? He does. And LaRavia should be playing some D. I don't know about LaRavia though. 9.5 because Conchar is out or something. Let me know if you gave me the LaRavia look, what you're looking at real quick, because this takes a little bit more research and effort, deeper dive, I'll say, than anybody who has like a little bit more to go off. Because with LaRavia, it's a matter of Morant was out in this one when he went over. And Desmond Bane was out in this one and Conchar. Now, is Conchar missing again? I believe, because Conchar does eat into his stuff real quick. Let's go to RotoWire. Let's look at the Memphis squad instead. So they got Jalen Wells in the starting lineup for Bane. That could be a look. So Conchar's game time decision. That's a big deal for the minutes for him because they're both coming off the bench the same way. So Conchar may not play. It looks like he's probably leaning towards not playing. So they have him maybe at 28 minutes, whether that's accurate or not. RotoWire isn't always the best, but if he'd be coming in, I guess, for Santi in this situation for the defense, I don't know. I don't have much for Conchar that I could look at to go like this is why, or for LaRavia to go like this is why I would have him in there. I guess you can look at his matchup stuff, but 9.5 points when he's averaging 7.5 on the season. I know he isn't playing that many minutes, but you can't really, I mean, even when he's getting 26 minutes or so, been shooting very poorly. Only had one game though with double-digit attempts. 2 games, excuse me. So if he takes double-digit attempts, then maybe he's good to go. But that was because he was missing Ja, Conchar, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't like it quite as much. I can see why you would think, about the Bucks, but they lost by 23. So he probably got a lot of that stuff in garbage time. Yeah, I can't responsibly bet on LaRavia in this one. So I'm going to move past that. Triple J would be a lean to the over for me, for sure. But it's at 19.5. It's still not necessarily my favorite of them all. So let's see. Yeah, what's good? G421. Do we think Steph's time may be limited coming back from that ankle? That's probably a good call to at least check into. Let me just make sure I'm looking at. We're going to look at Koulibaly right now. So let's look at that with the Warriors real quick, and we'll knock that game out and see what we like there. So I was telling everybody earlier, let me see what Jordan Poole's points and assists are at. 28.5. Can you get 29? You can still find some 29.5 points and assists combined hanging around for Jordan Poole, but that is a really big under for me in this game. I love that bet for Jay Poole. I don't care about no revenge nonsense. He's not going to get the points for sure. The best transition defense, third best against pick and roll ball handler. That's all he does. Number 1 above the break. Number 1 within 5 feet. So Jay Poole scores 78% of his points either 5 feet from the basket or above the break. this defense is fine-tuned to stop that. So that's what I like for that one. Koulibaly on the points. I heard someone say they took under and they were kind of like, oh no, but like, I don't know if it's that bad. Now they do give up stuff to spot up. Yeah, they're much better against the point guard and the ball handler than they are against shooters waiting on the wing. Homie has been taking a lot of shots from I thought it was more in the corner, but I guess he hasn't been taking that many threes. So if he is scoring, but he's trying to get to the bucket, and this is where they've been really, really good limiting players and even limiting assists down low on drives. So I don't love the points for Koulibaly. I definitely don't love an under the way he's been going off, but you look at the teams he's gone off against. The Heat are the second worst team against the spot up. The Hawks don't play defense. They're just absolutely freaking terrible. And then in this one against the Cavs, he did have a good game there as well. I don't have as much for why he would have beaten the Cavs. Are the Cavs good against spot up again? I forgot. They're middle of the pack against spot up, so they're not great. But they're much better against a pick and roll ball handler. So they probably just forced it out of Jay Poole's hands. And then you saw Bilal be the beneficiary of that, taking 16 shots, 12 shots, 14, 12. Yeah, without Kuz, it's a look. But look at these shooting numbers too. 67%, 79%, 42, and 56. So he's been shooting damn near like 60% from the field for the last 4 games. That is not something that I want to back. Why is this not going up? If it's at 14.5 and this team plays fast and he's such an important part of the offense, why is this at 14.5 when he's been averaging in his last 4 games like 22 points per game, 19 on the season? So this is telling you something. But if you think they're slow to realize that Kuz is out, okay, but I don't think the books are forgetting that Kuzma's out and that Bilal Koulibaly is going to benefit from that. So I'm not good on Koulibaly points. I would consider the boards before I would go to the points. His rebound chances without Kuz, you can see which games Kuz been missing. Just the last 2 for Kuz. Yeah, the last 2 games, 12 and 14 rebound chances. I like him to get 6 boards on 13 or 14 rebound chances. Before Kuz was out, you can see those boards were going to Kuz, 6 rebound chances, 7 and 8. So 7 rebound chances a game with Kuz, 13 rebound chances a game without Kuz. I think the rebounds are the best play if you want to look at a Koulibaly over. So I don't mind -104. I'm going to put that on the bottom line for Koulibaly with the dopest name in the league. I'm going to put him on the bottom line as a strong lean. So you can check all that out if you missed any of the bets that we put down already, or at least the leans. Some of these are bets. The Koulibaly boards is what we're looking at. Rebs. Like that. You like that? All right. That's scrolling on the bottom line. I can update this. Let's look at some stuff real quick with the Dubs now that we have Steph back. There's some stuff to look at. I don't know if it's going to equate to a bet, but we can at least talk about what his impact is, aside from the fact that they're now way fucking better on offense, obviously. Everybody's just waiting on Dick, man, obviously. Story of the world. All right, Bilal, we're good on. Jay Poo, I like the under. Look at Kispert trying to get involved. What are you even doing this year, Kispert? Why are you at 16.5? Who else is out for this team, I guess, is the question. Let me just look real quick at these lineups right here. So Bagley out. I mean, everybody else that's been out, Bay, Brogdon, and now Kuzma's out as well. I don't know why Kispert would jump up to 16.5 points. I don't have a reason for that right now. Maybe some ETR projections that came out. But for Curry, 24.5 points. How is he going to impact everybody? Buddy obviously been going bananas. Only 1 bad game against a very good defense. Every other game, though, 71%, 67%, 50%, 42, and 64. So shooting the lights out of the ball. Curry was here for 1.5 of these games. So it's not like it's just with Curry and without Curry, there's that big of a difference yet. We don't actually know for Buddy Hield. But his impact on the game is going to be that he dominates the assists for sure. I'll say that much. If we look at the dimes for him, so he played 3 games, excuse me. And one of those was the bad Buddy Hield shooting night. What did he have points wise here? Yeah, he has not been only 11 shots. Well, he came out 20 shots, 10 shots. They won by 36, to be fair. And he took 20 in the game. They won by 41 points against the Jazz. So maybe the shots aren't necessarily not there, but this has more blowout potential in a way that I'd be going under on Curry. Like, I don't think they need him to beat the snot out of this team. So I'd be taking under on Curry points. The assists I'd like to go over, but once again, I don't know how many minutes he's going to be playing. Like, if this is a blowout, he played 25 in this blowout, 27 and 27 when they lost by 8. Right. He got hurt against the Clippers. So that's why he played 27. If this is close, he's going to play the requisite 34 minutes. The dimes, let me see real quick. 10 potentials. 7 potentials, 10 potentials. To get 6, still very doable for Curry. How does this team do against point guard assists? They're probably bad. They're bad at everything. Where's Washington? Oh, no, actually, they're not that bad against point guard assists. They kind of limit those a bit. So if you're looking at Steph, I hate to say it, but this is more of an under before it's an over for me. The points are low, in part because he's coming back from injury, also in part because this game probably shouldn't be close. I do believe the Warriors are a top 6 team in the West right now, and the Wizards are a bottom 3 team in the East, unquestionably. So yeah, I would be leaning under, and I think this game has such high blowout potential that I wouldn't be looking at too much. So, all right, let's look at Rozier points because I like that. We'll look at Bobby, and then we should look at Dick before we look at Luka and CP3 because I believe that game comes out earlier. So we at least got to look at Dick. And I just forgot where I'm going. Rozier. All right, Terry. Scary Terry. Let's see here. Probably got another like 20 minutes to roll. So let's make sure we get through this. I love Jovic, and that's what scared me. Now, Terry's at 16.5. He was at 15.5. Jaime Jaquez is out. Jovic, can you still get 7.5? If you live outside the US or you have BetMGM and want to drink a -140, then you can. But I still think 8.5 is a decent number for Jovic. What I'm looking at in this game against the Kings here, and looking at Scary Terry real quick. So this was 15.5, super beatable number. 16.5 scares me a little bit more, but 15.5 gave us a little bit of an edge for a guy averaging 17 a game. He's taken a ton of shots. It's about the matchup, though. The spot up here is the majority of his shots, right? Catching the pass off of either Jimmy Bam or Tyler Hero, who are acting as point guards a little bit more than Terry, who's definitely the scoring guard on this team. He's taken 29, nearly 30% of his shots from the corner 3. The Kings allow the most corner 3s in the league. They allow the most spot up in the league. So that's what I would be doing to attack the Kings defense is who are the shooters, who are the guys that are catching and releasing, not necessarily the guys that are shooting off the dribble like a De'Aaron Fox. So that's where I'd be going if I was looking at over. I took Jovic because Jaime Jaquez being out means that Jovic's minutes are the most directly impacted positively. He'll be seeing a few more minutes. And Terry should be playing his normal like 32, 34 minutes per game. But like at 16.5, we lost a bit of the edge, averaging about 14, 15 shots per game for Terry this season. It's not quite enough for me. You're going to see that there's really not an edge at 16.5 -105. If I put this in the little baby model, I'll just show you what I mean real quick. So hopefully it makes sense. Let me pull it up and then we'll look at everything else. But I at least wanted to show this to y'all. So that you can see why the math is important here, why like how much, what juice you're getting actually really, really matters. So I'm going to just pull this up. Some of y'all have probably seen this already, but this is going to be Terry as soon as it loads because it's got formulas, so it takes fucking forever. All right, we'll let that load. Taking sweet time. And I'll show you the Terry stuff at 16.5. I'm not sure yet. We did not touch Dick yet, but we're all going to pass Dick around and talk about it here in just a little bit. So we'll take Rozier out because at 15.5, I liked it. I think Rozier's a good bet. Let me put him on the leans because I think he's the best player to take an over on in this game. So Terry, we got Rozier over 16.5 points. All right. We're so close to Dick now. Let's see. And let me see if this loaded so I can just be boring for like 2 seconds. Yeah, okay. So basically all I'm doing here, and this is linked in the Discord, in the free Discord, under betting tools. You can get this real quick. If I just put in, I'm talking about Terry, and I'm saying his points prop, and the line is 16.5. The under is like -125. The over is -105. Minutes average is 33. Prop average is 17.2. That's this season alone, right? Not the biggest sample size, but enough that I can at least look at it for now. Projected minutes for tonight, we'll say 33. There's no reason to think he's going to play less. And then the probability to the over at -105 is like 51%. The under edge at -125, the implied probability, since I don't know that one by heart, is I'll go to my calculator. So this is saying the implied probability that this thing happens, -125. They're saying there's a 56% chance that this happens with that implied probability. So the book prop to the under is 56%. So the edge is slightly to the over 3, but I need this number to be at like at least 10%, prefer it to be close to 20 for the edge number here. If there's a percent edge of about 20, 15 to 20, I'm for sure going to be looking closely at it. 10% is the lowest that I would even play. So just keep that in mind that like the math here matters. Terry Rozier, minus 104 even, not quite worth it for me at 16.5, the way that he's been averaging stuff this season. Not much of an edge. All right. Let's see. We should at least get to Dick since I've got about 15 minutes, and that's everybody's favorite bet of the night. He's down to like 18.5, I believe, right? I'll just put Dick points right here. All right. All right, Mr. Dick. Mr. Grady Dick against the Nuggets. Man, I don't know. I don't know what to do with Dick, to be honest. Let's see. I'm not even trying anymore. I'm honestly just saying the dude's name. Everything for the defense is way softer down low, although they give up corner stuff. Middle of the pack against the three. This defense for Denver has not been impressive this season. They are not very good against the spot up this year, or guys coming off screens, which lead to spot ups, or at least, whatever, catch and shoot, I should say. This is all catch and shoot right here, and they're bad against it. So it makes sense that we would ride Dick again, honestly. But I don't know. I was playing this at like 15.5 earlier in the year and feeling great about it, right? Like I took all his stuff here because I was like, he's getting shots up. Why aren't we giving his points a bump? And then now it's gotten a little crazy because he had 2 30-point games, 22 against the Kangs. Also bad against spot up, though, I will say. I think if you're going to take an over here, or if you're going to play around with Dick, I think you got to take over. The dimes are at 2.5. Interesting. And we're still going to have everybody out. 8 potentials, 10 potentials. Points and assists are not a bad look for Dick. 17 shots, 26 shots. Yeah, you're not going to catch me taking an under. That's for sure. I never go under Dick, but I would go over Dick if you were looking at the points and assists as well. Yeah, I like all of it, honestly. The points 18.5. The assists are only 2 more, and he's been in the last couple of games. Oh no, I was wrong. What was I looking at there? Rebounds, you fucking cuck. Obviously. All right. Rebounds against this team I don't like quite as much as I did the assists. But yeah, I think the points alone are the play then if you're going to take it. All right, let me put that in the scrolling underneath. There's not as much. We don't have sample size for him, right? Like we don't have a sizable amount of Dick, so like we can't get his stats from the past. But I would say Dick over 18.5. Can't believe nobody's like come into the stream and basically just completely subdued it. Let's see. Under. Okay. Yeah, no, I see that. Like regression should be coming. Let me look real quick. What's his shooting splits been? So, I mean, he only shot 35% here, got 22 because of the volume. That's what we're talking about. And he was 3 for 8 from 3, which is enough. So the threes are pretty crucial to the points. Maybe you take the over 2.5, although even against the Hornets, didn't really get the threes and still got to the line 8 times. This is crazy, man. Like he's doing well 7 times against the Kings. How often does this team foul? Doesn't even say, yeah, free throws. Their 10th best limiting free throws are the Lakers, but that's partly because they're just giving everything up once you get down there. I mean, look, yeah, once Dick gets down there, he's just going to keep penetrating. So 27-23, he's going to get messy in the paint. We know that. Yeah, I think the Dick on the over points is for sure the play. Damn, that's pretty good. Damn, can't believe I didn't think of that. That's really good. Hit a nice Suggs Dick parlay. That's really good. All right, I'll be using that moving forward for the Dick jokes. Yeah, I think over the 18.5 points is the play there more than anything. So I put that in the bottom line. I don't feel the need to add stuff to it. I love the volume. Like he's become a shooter that can also get to the line. Come on now. Like if he's got multiple ways to score, then that's only going to help us for sure. All right, let's try to get a couple more in here. Got Bobby P. I got to look at Bobby P. I don't know what that came out at, but let me at least look at it as I update this. All right. Bobby P, Luka assists, CP 3 points. Keep it moving. Bobby P, where you at now? Did his props came up, right? 18.5. Yeah, that's getting steep for me in this matchup against Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. What's his numbers against this team anyway? Head-to-head last season, 22, 25, 21, 23. What did his minutes do? So I got Bobby Portis with and without Giannis. His minutes go up to 28.4 per game. He's at about 23 per game this season. And he will be much bigger part of the offense as a starter, not necessarily filling Giannis's role, but definitely taking a lot more shots as a result, right? Like 4 more shots specifically, to be exact. Last year, only 9 games without Giannis, but that's a decent enough to go, yeah, that's a noticeable size difference in the field goal attempts. So I do see the Bobby Portis play there. Let's see the rebounds. Jesus. No way, man. Come on. No way. No way. Let me go to Courtside Pal for a minute. I know what he did last year without Giannis, but where are his rebounds at? 10.1 though? Come on now. This is a good rebounding team. Let's go to let's just do it simply here on Fantasy Pros. Let's look at power forwards, rebounds. The Cavs. Oh, I guess they're giving up rebounds to power forwards. What are you doing, Cleveland? Wow. Cleveland giving up a ton of rebounds to power forwards. Color me shocked. 3rd most rebounds to power forwards. Maybe I'm tripping. I know we're using last year's Courtside Pal data, but let me just pull up Courtside Pal. This is a little bit better than just position versus defense. This is player archetype versus defense. So Bobby Portis, go. Points. Let's look at the boards real quick. Rebounds against Cleveland. Yeah, they were this bad against his type of player last year too, huh? That's crazy. What were his head-to-head rebounds? Went under in all of them, but once again, not nearly as. This is an under, though. There's no way I'm playing over Bobby Portis 11.5 boards. Juice down to -122. Yeah, this is an under on Bobby Portis rebounds. That's my favorite play for Bobby. Let me put that in real quick. Putting that down. That's just too high, man. Well, we're talking 30. We're talking 30 something PR, 30.5. No way. No way. And this is already 29.5 on DK. I think the look here is you add the points and rebounds together. 23-25 without Giannis. Let's see. Games without Giannis. So the points, he did go over consistently. Maybe we leave the points out of this. And we just look at the rebounds. I think this is the playoffs. Playoffs? I mean, whatever. Let's do regular season then. Still a great hit rate. Averaging 10, needs 12. Nah, fam. Nah. -122. That's a play. All right, Bobby P, under 11.5 boards. Sorry if you came here for some Bobby Portis overs. You ain't getting it. You're getting Bobby P, under 11.5 rebs. -122 FD was the best number, I believe. Let me see real quick. Yeah, -122 for 11.5. Yeah, that's still hanging around. That's busted. That is busted. Hang on. Under 11.5. You got to get that fast. I'm going to have to get this in myself. God damn it. All right, I'm going to get this in as well. All right, I'm getting this in too real quick. Your boys you gotta take care of yourself here, right? Like I gotta bet my own stuff. Come on now. All right, hold up. Not texting anybody. I have access to a great FanDuel account. What are you talking about? All right. Great. Got my bet in on my FanDuel account. Yeah, Zach Edey. Oh, points. This is a good look too. Let me look at Chris Paul. We'll look at Zach Edey. We finna get out of here. But I do like Edey potentially on the boards as well. All right. Chris Paul real quick. Zach Edey, and then we eat. All right. CP3 been scoring hella. Why would he score in this game in a matchup with the Clippers? This game scares me to all hell to take any overs. Do I not have props for this game? Okay, there we go. All right. So we're looking at CP3 on the points, 10.5 now, huh? Yeah, he's been taking and making them. 50% on 10, 56% on 9, 62% on 13. So he's taking about 9-10 shots. Do you like him to get 9-10 shots and get the points? 3 for 7 from deep, 3 for 4, 3 for 7, 3 for 6. Nah, already tell you I'm out on CP3. So what I'm looking at here for CP3 is an unsustainable 3-point hit rate. And I'm looking at the fact that he's only taken that amount of shots. So Chris Paul this season, just to be able to look at this whole real quick. So this season, 29 minutes, that's what he's going to get, 11.7 points per game. And that is on 8.3 shots. I gave him more credit than he deserved for the amount of shots he's taken. 8 shots, but he's shooting 46.7% from 3. Do you see the point that I'm making here? Is this season? I thought, yeah, he's at 11.7. Okay, good. So it's 8 shots. Damn, I thought it was more. But it's because he took 3 in this one game. But still, like, you can expect him to take 8 to 10. That seems fair. If he's taking 10 shots, he's only getting there because he's making the threes. 3 for 6 from 3, 3 for 7. He ain't going to shoot 46% from deep this season. Like, that's not what Chris Paul does. He's not a 46% three-point shooter. In fact, nobody is a 46% three-point shooter. So I like the fade of Chris Paul at some point. This might be the matchup, to be honest with you. Let's look at point guard points. I don't think that this LA Clippers team is going to be giving up much to anybody. So they limit point guards to the second fewest points per game. And am I on point guards? I'm on power forwards, you dumbass. All right, points. They're not as good as I thought they were, but they're still all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th in terms of limiting points to the position. And as far as assists go, they are in the middle of the pack. So they're not great at limiting point guards, but they're a very good defense playing a very, very slow pace. And so is this this Spurs team. They're both playing really slowly. So I don't like over for Chris Paul points. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just showing you the pace real quick for both these squads. We go to advanced this season on the NBA stats page. We go down to the slower teams. You can see the Spurs are playing at the 5th slowest pace, and the Clippers are playing at the 19th. So 10th slowest pace, whatever, 11th slowest pace. They're not playing fast, and they're both very good defenses this year as well. The Clips are sitting 7th in D rating. Spurs are 4th in D rating. So don't sleep on that. This is not last year's Spurs where they play at 120 pace and give up 125 points per game, blah blah blah. So keep that in mind. I think the points for CB3 at 10.5 probably fair. But this is just going to be a situation where it's like dude's taking 9 to 10 shots, really not getting to the free throw line much at all. So you got to hope he makes his threes. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to have to bank on him to hit threes. And he's at 1.5. So this season, if he hits, and it's plus 102. So they don't think he's as likely to hit 2 threes. If he hits 0 or 1 threes this year, obviously he hasn't done that because he's gone over consistently. So he's hit at least 2 in every single game this season. What? Oh, he's at 3 in every single game. All right, what's happening? Oh, this is not threes. Come on, Lander. You can tell I need to get off of this. I'm already fucking up. All right, threes made. Where did they go? All right, 3P. Golly. All right, threes made. What happens when he makes 1 or fewer this season? Obviously, those are the 2 unders. So you see what I'm saying? It's heavily reliant on him to make threes to get the points. I don't want to have to bank on that. So I'm not taking those points. I would be leaning to the under. It's going to just depend on if he hits the threes. If you're going to take the over on the points, kind of seems like you need to hit the over on the threes, to be honest. If you're getting better juice and 2 threes is only 6 points, yeah, he's not really scoring very many other ways. So I'm out on the Chris Paul points. Let's see if we can get one more in here because I got a dip, and I'll have all this stuff, the best that we have here. That are scrolling on the bottom line right now, I will have those up on the pinned comment of the video. So check that out on YouTube if you want to make sure you don't miss everything we're putting in here. Let me get to one more play. Luka assist was up. Luka's not assists against the Pacers are not a play that I want to take. 7.5 is too low to go under. But I really don't want to have to rely on someone to get assists against a Pacers team that limits assists a lot. Some people are playing the under rather, even on 7.5. This was minus 132 a minute ago, and now it's at minus 118 to the over. So some people are that means they're hitting the over. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that means they're hitting the under. Yeah, they're hitting the under. Fucking idiot. So they're hitting the under, and this is not something Luka's been doing nearly as much this season. Slow start, 15-ish, 14 potential assists per game, 14-ish. Not something I want to do for 8. So I'm out on Luka assists. I do got to run because I got to get some stuff into the VIP of the Discord there. So keep that in mind. If you do want any of that stuff, jump into the description of the video. Would really appreciate a like before y'all dip out so that we're not just lurking. If you got anything out of this and was helpful with your plays, please go ahead and give that shit a like. I'm going to be coming out with a video tomorrow for Wednesday's slate. So get out and vote tomorrow if you haven't done that. That's why we have a country, whatever. If I have to explain that to you right now, you're all adults that are able to gamble. So I hope you're voting as well. All right. I'm going to roll out with that. Like I said, check the pinned comment so that you can make sure you don't miss any of these plays. If you want to get every single play in the VIP Discord, just give you the link. It's in the description of the video as well. You got the season pass rolling right now for 40% off. So if you do want to get 40% off, skip the monthly fees, you can just do it that way for a nice, easy price there. $200 for the whole season. Not going to find that many places, but all right. Appreciate y'all. I will be back on Wednesday with the live. Be back tomorrow with a video for Wednesday. Till I see y'all next. Happy betting.